again. So not yesterday, but the day before, I was working on the rock, and after having put the a good muffler on it, which I can't remember what machine I took it off, lo and behold, it stopped working. Like, I just couldn't even get a pop out of it. So I've got to have a good look at that. My suspicion is that it's not getting spark for whatever reason. So yeah, that's the rock. But I said that with the SX62SX that I was going to, this is during the shootout review, I said that I was going to do it justice, because I had actually taken the original muffler off and put it on another machine and it had a really constricted, really constricted muffler with yeah, that honeycomb fucking catalyzer in there, which is just bad news. It's just a bad idea all around, because all it does is heats your machine up even more than it should, which is a bad idea. So what I did was, in the interim, a little while ago, I ordered two Xenol clone mufflers, and because, you know, they're so cheap, you're going to get one. If you screw up something with it or whatever, or you need another one, well, there's another one. And they got pardon me, you've got the option of 1, 2 or 3 ports. I got the 3-port option. It does have a box in there. I'll show you what the, because I drilled a hole out in the box and also gouged it out with the Dremel. So I'll show you what that looks like. Here's the original. That's how it comes. It's got 2 holes, hole top and bottom, and one in the centre. It's about 12 mil. Yeah, about 12 mil. And then, after getting to it with the Dremel, you can see that that hole is a whole lot bigger. That's what it needs. Okay, so the muffler that I've gouged out, that's the one that I'm going to install. The original gasket that was on it, I lost a piece of, it's actually still on the muffler. There's a piece of the gasket still on there. This is one of the things about these cheap saws, is sometimes the gaskets are real shit. Yeah, I mean, this one's, it's metal with this black fibrous shit on one side, and yeah, it's not a very good idea. So, okay, so I made a gasket. I got myself some of this exhaust gasket material. Just like paper on either side with a metal bit sandwiched in the middle. I'm assuming, because you can fireproof paper, they used to sell insulation that was just this paper fibre, and it was infused with borax and boron, and you could melt. I remember seeing a demo. They used to go around houses and sell door to door. He had a handful of this stuff, put a 2-cent piece, which no longer exists in Australia. It's a copper coin, right? And with a blowtorch, mini blowtorch, he melted the coin on his hand with this handful of stuff. It was such a good insulator, and it doesn't burn, but it is pretty toxic. So yeah, I'm not sure what is in this, but I'm assuming that's what it is. So I've got my own gasket. And, yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put the muffler on, I'll go downstairs, I'll start her up, and I'll do some more test cuts just to see if the open muffler does actually, it should help. So, see you soon. Okay, so before I tell you what the times were after cutting, I don't know, you might have noticed that it seemed pretty slow for most of the cuts. And what I'll say is that when I stopped the cuts, I immediately went and cleaned it. When I took the bar and chain off, what I noticed was it was dry. So initially it was oiling. Before I started those cuts, it was oiling. So it would appear, and there's no oil down there at all. So it would appear that it stopped oiling for some reason, which would explain why the cuts went. The first cut I'll disregard. The second cut was 7.86, which is quicker. Then it was 9.95, 12.4 and 15.79. Those 4 cuts. So the time like doubled. In 4 cuts, the cut time doubled. And I was using the Giants bar and chain because I thought, you know what, a shorter bar, because usually, I originally had a 22-inch MTM bar on this, but I thought I'll use the shorter 20-inch bar, it'll help. Well, it hasn't helped at all. So it stopped oiling, so I've got to have a look at that. I'm not sure why it's stopped oiling, but yeah, it has. Now, what can I say? What I did notice was extra torque. Yeah, definitely. Even though it stopped oiling, I noticed that I could lean into it. You know, a couple of those cuts, I leant into it. You know, really leant into it, and it didn't have a problem. So there's that empty muffler certainly helps with torque, a lot more torque. But I've got to have a look at it and see why it stopped oiling, because it did stop oiling. But you know, which won't be a big issue. But I would still definitely recommend this to a homeowner. This is a fantastic little saw. It really is. It's a fantastic little saw. It is so light, nimble. You put an empty muffler on, it comes with an empty muffler. Yeah, stock as a rock. This is a fantastic little saw, and I would highly recommend it, even though it did stop oiling. So I've got to have a look at the oiling system, exactly whether there's a blockage or something, I don't know. So that's a bit of a disappointment, because I was expecting to get I was hoping for 7 seconds, realistically. I really was. 7.5. I got 7.86 on the second cut, which is pretty close. So that's definitely the potential. But what I'll do is I'll have a look at it, see what's going on, do everything, find out why it's not oiling, fix that, and I'll put the 22-inch MTM bar back on it, bar and chain back on it, and see if that makes a difference. So until then, see you later.